Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're going over my top 9, there's not 10, whiskeys of the year. We're gonna blind 6 of them, and then 3 of them are all American Single Malts. And I already did a video with all of them in it, so I'll link that video in the description. But first, let's do the giveaway. All right, so this is for part 2 of the best rides of the year from last Wednesday's video. And the winner is Bowder254. Email me, it's in the description. Congratulations. All right, let's get into this list. It's been a little crazy around here lately. I went and did a pick yesterday, and this was the winner. It's very, very good. So once I get more information on that, I'll definitely let you guys know. I recorded a lot yesterday. I haven't looked at the footage or anything, but I'll do a whole video dedicated to that experience and the pick and everything. So there's a lot to talk about from that pick, but I'll wait until the actual bottles come in and talk about that and compare that versus what we actually get in the bottle and everything. So we'll get there, but a lot of fun yesterday. And today's my birthday.
I'm a man, I'm 40.
So there's that. I have to go work later, but no big deal. So my top 3 American Single Malts of 2025, in I guess reverse order. So in third place was this Brother Justice, and I have a couple. This is just American Single Malt Founders Reserve 125 proof. Very, very good. We have the Westward Milestone Batch 3, correct? Yep, edition number 3. And in first place was a Stranahan's Founder Reserve 12 year. And I just picked up another Stranahan's 12 year. It's like in a white tube, but I think that's this year's release or a release from this year. So I'm sure I'll do a review on that at some point. These 3 were my favorite American Single Malts of the year. I did the video where I was referring to earlier where the Milestone Batch 2 was also in it. If you want to go see that video of those 4 American Single Malts head to head, it'll be in the description. So let's get into the 6 bottles in today's video. Before I get that, I should probably said this in the beginning, but these are all whiskeys that don't fall underneath any of my bourbon or rye top lists. That's why I just saw some American Single Malts, and then you're about to see some wheat whiskeys, just generic whiskeys, and some Canadian whiskeys. Okay, no particular order, just grabbing them. We got the Rare Character Batch 2. This just says Kentucky Straight Whiskey, so it doesn't say bourbon or rye, so that's why it's in this list. It was actually in my, I think, top 30, and then I noticed that it wasn't actually a bourbon. We have Barrell Whiskey Decade 20-year-old. This is Canadian, 142.7 proof. Year the Hazmat continues. We got Star Hill Farms, which was a very popular one at the beginning of the year. A wheat whiskey. Another wheat whiskey, the Bernheim A Batch 225. Another Canadian, which Found North does a really good job with Canadian whiskey, but this is a Snow Day, a 10-year-old. And a Finnish whiskey, the High West Casa Noble, and this is straight whiskeys finished in Marcus de Casa Noble Añejo barrels, so whiskey in tequila barrels. So let's blind these. All right, let's get into the nose. All right, A on the nose is sweet. There's definitely a good amount of funkiness, earthy, butterscotch, some sweet and funky notes. Let's go to B. All right, B on the nose, we got some red and dark fruits, some breadiness, sweet baking spices, kind of like a little bit, where sweet and some not the best notes that kind of go with it. Overall, not too bad. So let's go to C. All right, C on the nose is more intense than the first 2. Sweet, a little funkiness, a little bit nuttiness, honey, cinnamon, and dark fruit. So probably the best nose out of the first 3. Not that it was crazy good or anything, but I did enjoy it the most. Let's go to D. Man, D was kind of interesting because it was going from one direction and then went in a whole nother direction. So start off like a peppery, like not black pepper, I mean like a vegetable pepper, red and green vegetable peppers. Then was like peanut, dusty, red fruit, wheat funk. Very interesting, all over the place, and really enjoyable. Let's go to E. E on the nose, rich peanut, like it was a very high end. It was like a high end peanut. I don't know, top tier peanuts. Dusty, sweet, rare fruit. It smelled like a bourbon to me. So let's go to F. F on the nose, we got, it was different for sure. Definitely stood out from this group. Sweet, intense, butterscotch, vanilla, honey, and dark fruit. Probably my favorite nose. The intensity was just incredible on that one. Right, let's get into the palates. Going back to A on the nose, very tequila forward. So it kind of tells me what this one is. And I actually had a shot of tequila last night. Don't usually do those. A is very interesting and unique. There's a good amount of cinnamon on the palate and the finish. So we got sweet, honey, spices. Definitely notice some tequila notes. Cinnamon on the palate, on the finish. Slight sulfur right away, but it turns into more raisins, green apple, and again, that cinnamon note. Pretty good. Smells like cinnamon apple. A little maltiness on the palate this time. The palate I really enjoy. It's very unique, different, tasty. The finish kind of is too light a little bit, but then it kind of helps itself towards the end of the finish where it gets that nice cinnamon note. One more sip. So after the third sip, more of the same. I think I figured out the part of the finish I don't like. It's more like a vegetable-y note. So I wrote that down. Overall, I do enjoy it. Kind of just dips a little bit for me on the finish. Let's go to B. All right, gotta try that again. It wasn't giving me a lot of notes on the first sip, but sweet, it did drink intensely. Woody, spice, specifically rye spice. On the finish, woody, sweet, vanilla. Again, nothing wrong with it. Just didn't seem like very complex. But second sip. All right, definitely better on the second sip. Dark fruit showed up on the palate, and then again on the finish. And then on the finish, earthiness and more rye spice. The rye spice on the palate definitely attacks the front of my tongue anyways, almost too intensely. Overall, pretty decent. Definitely a different type pour, but these are all kinds of all over the place. So I kind of expect that today. One more sip. Yeah, more of the same. It's funny how much that rye spice attacks the tip of my tongue. But pleasurable notes. I do like it. All right, let's go to C. All right, C, definitely different. I did enjoy this a lot. Banana cream pie. It was very banana forward in the beginning. So banana cream pie, vanilla, sweet, oak, dark cherry, earthy. Then we go to the finish, honey, chocolate, raisins, funky, rick house. And if you've never been in a rick house, get yourself inside a rick house. But it's like celery, not celery, like a cellar, old whiskey. This is a very distinct note. Kind of goes with like the funky note too. Second sip, pretty good. So on the palate, chocolate. And on the finish, dark fruit, nice lingering notes. One more sip. More of the same. I really did enjoy that one. Probably my favorite so far, the first three. Let's go to D. All right, so D, the proof is definitely kicked up a notch here. Definitely felt that one. Red fruit, red Jolly Rancher, proof, peanut, earthiness. On the finish, oak, peanut, vanilla, strawberry. Overall, pretty good. Tastes like a bourbon to me. I'm sure some of these are close to being bourbons, but there's something that kind of disqualifies it from being a bourbon or whatever. Pretty good. It's very intense on the palate, but it kind of mellows out on the finish. So we'll see. You guys know, finishes usually improve. Yeah, again, more like the first sip where the palate is very intense, almost too intense. Like you need it over an ice cube, which I rarely do that. And some earthiness on the palate or on the finish. And on the finish, it still, again, it mellows out a lot from that intense palate. One more sip. All right, that third sip overall, actually the finish got more intense, kind of matched the palate a little bit. Overall, enjoyable, maybe a little bit too intense. We'll see when I go back and forth after a little bit of water, how that impacts that. Let's go to E. All right, I do enjoy that one. That one definitely tastes like a bourbon forward whiskey. Woody, caramel, peanut, definitely have some proof there. Finish, dark chocolate, dark fruits, oak, sweet, peanut butter. I mean, definitely this one's gonna be tasting better on the second sip. I do like that. So on the palate, dark fruit, sweet, nothing new on the finish. Overall, pretty decent. If you told me this is a bourbon, I would believe you. This tastes like a bourbon to me. Curious on which one this one is and why it's not. Watch it be one of the Canadian ones. All right, the only new note I put was on the finish, even though I wrote it in the palate area. Now that I'm seeing that, is dusty peanut. I already wrote peanut before, but it was different, a different type of peanut. Let's go to F. Man, that palate was crazy. Whew. Some proof there for sure. Dark fruit, vanilla ice cream, sweet, spicy, woody, butterscotch, butter popcorn. On the finish, dark fruits, maple syrup, oak. Pretty tasty. Apparently I got all the notes the first time. I didn't get anything new this time. Let's see. One more sip. So on the finish, I wrote sweet and butterscotch. So the palate and the finish are very similar, and I love the palate on this. Take a break, drink some water. I'll be back with some A-Bing, because all these scores are very, very close to each other. So this is going to be very difficult to put them in an order. Be right back. All right. So my last place going through was A. It was the first one, so we'll see. I mean, if that's not the High West tequila finish one, I might have to quit because that is very tequila forward now. The only thing new I wrote is agave, which is just tequila. There's a nice cinnamon note on the finish though. Now, if you like tequila and whiskey, this might be a good pairing of your two worlds. But I think we're gonna keep that in last place. Unless, let's see, we got D is next. So let's try D next. I mean, this one's really good. I'm gonna expect it to move up. We'll see. So next one's B. We'll see if it can at least go forward one spot. I don't think it is. I actually like B better. It's more unique, has nice flavors. This is one tough lineup so far. Just those two being both so good, and I thought this would just move up. Okay, let's go to E would be next. Interesting. I think I do like E, but I think B might be a little better. So let me A-B these real quick. All right, so I swapped B and E. I did like B better than E. So now we gotta go to C. Okay, C is gonna be holding its position right now. I do like it, I think, a little bit better than B, which they already went this way. Now, if you don't like banana note, I would bring down C a little bit for you specifically. Okay, let's try F. Man, that is just so intense. Let me just compare F to C real quick just to make sure. Yeah. All right, let's get into the results. All right, so we're back. Let's do the giveaway first. And if you want to win 2-ounce samples of all 6 of these, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with TOPW25, Top Whiskeys 2025. So TOPW25. It's on the screen. Make sure it's the right thing. I love you guys because, you know, obviously now that I'm using a new algorithm, thank you again, Kenna, it has to be right. And because the algorithm is only going to pick the exact word I put it in there. When people are messing up, there's other people in the comments helping, which you're only, you know, making it worse for yourself. But that's why I love the community. Everyone's always trying to help each other. So that's amazing to see. Anyways, let's get into the results here. So in last place is A, which is the tequila finish. And man, if this wasn't the tequila finish, I would have been shocked. This High West Casa Noble is good, but it is tequila forward. So if you don't like tequila, I don't know if this would be up your alley, but if you like both worlds of whiskey and tequila, definitely a good tequila finish whiskey. And I scored that 3.8. Number 5 for the year is D, the Bernheim A225, right? Yep. I scored that 3.95. Very good, and probably one of the more cheaper bottles up here. They're harder to find in Connecticut, but hopefully in your area, the Bernheim cash strength or barrel proofs, whatever, are available. You know, I rarely see them now. So in 4th place is E with a 3.95. So rare character batch 2, and very good. I'm a big fan of rare characters, so not shocked that it did well this year. In 3rd place for the year, we have this Foul North Snow Day 10-year-old Canadian whiskey. You know, came out very late in the year, got on top 3, so that's great. It's good. It's very delicious. I do like that. Foul North does a lot of good stuff. It's more hits than misses from them, and they do Canadian whiskey, which is crazy. And if you notice, 2 out of the top 3 are gonna be Canadian, just because that's how numbers work. All right, so 2nd place is C, is the Star Hill wheat whiskey. And I remember when we were at Maker's Mark doing our Maker's Mark pick for the local liquor store, the lady that was showing us around doing the pick with us pointed out to the area where these barrels are being aged in the rick house. She kind of like told us like it was a secret. But it's funny because the people in the group already got the email from Maker's Mark that this was going to be a thing like the day before. So we already knew, but when we were there, it was still not released, but the barrels were, you know, they pointed out the barrels. But it was fun. I always remember that story. So good stuff, and I'm excited for this year's version. And in 1st place is a Canadian whiskey, this Barrell Decades 20-year Hazmat. Very, very good. I do really enjoy that. And yesterday's pick at Copper and Cask, one of the barrels, this is not the barrel I picked, but the store picked, was a 160 proof 21-year-old Canadian whiskey. Let me tell you, it did not drink that proofy, which is insane to me, but it had similar notes to this. And once that bottle comes out, I'll be buying it for sure, and I'll talk more about it, and I'll probably, like, hey, if you want this bottle too. The fact that this came in 1st place for me today and my reaction to the bottle yesterday is kind of surprising to me. Once you see that video, you'll understand why. This barrel, Decades, #1 for whiskeys for me, which is surprising. I think going into this, I think, you know, the third and second place ones were the ones I thought would probably win. So I'm actually surprised the barrel won. So while we do blinds here, tell me your favorite whiskey that isn't a bourbon or rye for the year in the comments, and we'll discuss it. And maybe I have it somewhere and everything. And again, the Stranahan's 12-year Founders Reserve probably would have beat all of these. I love that bottle, but I already did that whole, basically the best American Single Malt of the year. So definitely check that video if you haven't seen it in the description. I'll put it right on the top. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.